are tremendously smart people, and they're really creative. They're extremely good writers, and I love that they give us that opportunity. Like there were a lot of things that I went to them about, and usually at 4 in the morning I'd write them an email. So they'd wake up, and we'd be shooting something that day, and I'd ask them something, and they were generally very, very cooperative. The good news is, and it was never really a huge deal because the scripts were already in such a good shape. So, but they were very collaborative like that. Little details like when Aiden is trying to escape with Hegemon on his back. It was originally that Marcus. I don't want to spoil too much here. For those of you that haven't seen it, but there was a moment where a character comes out and threatens me. And originally, there was no physical threat that went along with that. And I think that was more to do with the fact that, like, I was going to be carrying someone on my back, and to have someone knock me down, I have another actor on my back, and it might get hurt. But I said, no, we have to have him beat the hell out of me and then threaten to kill me. That has to happen. He's been waiting to do this for a long time. We have to understand the threat, and it builds up to a really, what happens next to Marcus is more dramatic if he's beaten the hell out of me first. So little things like that, It was usually me wanting to suffer more as well. And then me being very sorry that I asked for it.
What do you look for in scripts? You say you feel scripts. What do you look for?
Really believable characters, more than anything. They have to be believable characters because people have these great ideas, and they write them, and they think that they're getting their idea on the page, but no, it's still mostly in their head. And so there will be these really unrealistic, just kind of sketched out characters and things that happen that don't really make sense. But for the person, because they're experiencing it in their head, it makes perfect sense. For a writer to become a real writer, they have to make what's going on in here become literal and have everyone else that reads it or sees it have the same experience, right? Or something similar, And so that's tricky to do. That is really tricky to do. But if you can find believable character people that really know how to do that, you're in good shape because believable characters will navigate any storyline believably. So,
Has there ever been a role that you kind of glad maybe not taken in retrospect?
Yes.
Maybe one that you wish you had.
I have been lucky in that I have not turned down anything that I regretted later. Being human, I would have. That would have been painful. But I've turned down quite a few in my time. Here's something that I didn't turn down a role, I turned down an audition. And it was for something called... Yes. It may as well have been called that. I can't name it because it actually probably came out, will be offended. But what I will tell you is it dealt with a bunch of Chippendale dancers. So I would have been like naked most of the time. So I wasn't crazy about that, but I still read it. I'm like, yeah, but maybe there's a good story here. And there's a situation where this guy kills my mentor, like my best friend and my mentor. And I'm pretty damn sure this other dancer guy who's trying to take over the company killed him. And so there's this awesome scene, right? And literally, this is the dialogue. Literally, and I'm reading this, and I kept the script. I think I still have the script, and this dialogue is precious to me. I'm like reading it, and my character is saying to a buddy, he's like, I'm going to start my own dance company, man. It gets better. Start my own dance company, man. And he's like, and let's say the guy who killed my mentor, his name is John, right? He's like, John's never going to let me do that, man. And I'm like, John's a dick, man. I know he killed Greg. John's a dick. I know he killed Greg. I like that. Someone kills your mentor, and you know what? He's a dick. Why? Because I know he killed him. He's a jerk. There's no way to make this work. This is brilliant. And. Sometimes in scripts, you'll see a line, right? And maybe the line will be, I will never do that, never ever, right? And you'll see the line, I'll never do that. And then maybe never ever will be in caps. Now, some writers will do this. Some writers don't. They like to let the actors, come up with whatever. But sometimes writers will put something in caps. And that basically means probably shouting, I will never do that, never ever, There's a character in the script where 80% of his lines were in caps. And he talked a lot. So throughout the whole script, he just, and he had all this dialogue, and I'm just like, and then there was, one note, there was a note. Usually put note like, the costume might be difficult here, let's see what we can do about it. Note, we'll need a location where this is. And this one was, note, flash of his violent anger. And it's just like, which one? When is he not violently angry? So yeah, that was like my favorite, like, I kept that script, it's somewhere at home. Okay, so if you shave my head and you rewatch the first season and part of the second, you will see I'm not in it that much in the first season, right? And part of the reason for that is that I was signed on to be the comic relief of Battlestar Gallactica. One of the funniest shows ever made. Really funny show. I don't even know if Ron Moore remembers this. I've heard him say, you know, we had a take on the character and you went in a different direction. And it's just like, no, dude, you guys told me to be the comic relief. And there was nothing funny about that show. So there would be sometimes these little funny scenes, but they would be cut out of scripts before we shoot them because they had no place. You know, this is a show about like apocalypse, right? And it is not a funny show; it's a tremendous show. So they had to really figure out what the hell what is it do? Why are we paying this? What's going on here? And so yeah, so they gave me a glorious death at my own request. I'm happy. I went to David Icke and I'm like, you know, you can buy. How many explosions do you think you could buy with the money you're paying? And I'm like, you could really get some mileage if you kill them in a really cool way. And so they decided to do that, and that was really awesome. Yeah, so when I saw those scripts, I'm like, whoa, I have lines and I do things, and this is great. Oh, and it gets shot all the time, that bitch.